Welcome to rSlash. Today I effed up, where OP almost commits suicide by accident. So, as I was making myself breakfast this morning, I, for some reason, started wondering what would happen if I touched one of those glowing wires inside the toaster while it was on. Being the very intelligent man I am, I, of course, didn't want to touch it with my bare hands. I instead took a fork out of the drawer and, without thinking, stuck it right into the toaster. A small bolt of electricity shot up from the toaster and the toaster shut itself off. The worst part is, I still didn't realize what I had actually just done. I just thought, whatever, and put the fork back into the drawer. As I grabbed the bread, it clicked on me that there was a current running through the wires and that I had almost electrocuted myself. Maybe I was saved by my other hand not being on the dishwashing table, which is made of metal. If I had been leaning against the tabletop to reach the toaster better, I would have gotten an electric shock. I haven't told anyone yet, and I don't think I will. Well, except the 45,000 people on Reddit and 1.1 million people on YouTube. Our next Reddit post is from Cosmic68. So this literally just happened 30 minutes ago. I would freely and happily admit if I tried this on purpose as a warning to others, but legitimately screwed up here. I came with a couple of friends for the weekend to Amsterdam for a birthday. It's a great city, pretty to look at, and loads of fun. I'm sure most people know the Dutch have decriminalized the use of weed and you can visit coffee shops and buy and smoke joints. Had a fun party night last night in town. Went to some coffee shops, got stoned, went to some bars, danced at a club. Had a great night, but only a couple of hours of sleep. I was in a rush packing this morning because I slept through the alarm. So I put on last night's jeans with a joint in a plastic tube in the pocket, left over from last night. I got to the airport in reasonable time considering I slept through the alarm. I rushed through security when suddenly this hideous sensation of my stomach dropping, like in a falling lift. Did I ditch that joint? At this stage, my rucksack is going through the scanner and the airport staff are guiding me through a body scanner tube that you stand still in with your hands in the air while something revolves around you. "Sir, do you have anything in your pockets?" says the customs lady as she steers me towards the body scanner. Holy effing shoot. What to do? I'm still not 100% at this point if there was a joint in my pocket or not. Do I come clean? No, way too late for that. Gotta try to style this out as my pocket might actually be empty. I go to the tube, put my hands up, and get scanned no problem. But the airport's policy, possibly because of weed, frisk everyone as soon as they're out of the scan tube. I'm asked to put my hands in the air again as an airport guy starts to frisk intensely all over. I'm sweating bullets, and my scrambled mind is trying to remember the hazy details of last night's outing. Did I smoke that joint? The airport guy's hands pat my pocket. I feel an object being pressed into my hip. Oh no. "Sir, empty your pockets please," says the airport guy. My partner in the meantime has passed security and is watching on. In slow motion, I see the penny drop on his face. I dig into that weird front mini pocket and pull out a small joint in a plastic tube, as sold in coffee shops, out of my pocket. Audible gasps come from the other passengers in the queue behind me. I feel my face turning almighty red and feel the room getting a bit spinny. I'm dying inside. I say to the pat down guy, "Oh God, I'm really sorry. I forgot that was in there." "Haha, sure, that's what they all say," laughs the airport pat down guy loudly. I'm placed to one side. Customs security is called over. It was a nerve-shredding 30 minutes before he turned up. Just gonna take this moment and opportunity to say that the Dutch are a freaking fabulous bunch of people. The customs man comes over and takes one look at me quivering and near to tears and says, "Don't worry, sir. Don't look so scared. You're the 20th person today and you won't be the last." I'm sorry you have a government at home that is so restrictive, but unfortunately, I can't let you leave Amsterdam with this joint as you'll get in trouble at home. I almost wept with relief. I was made to sign a form to say he'd taken the joint off me, and that was it. I'm in a bar in Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam having a drink to steady my nerves. To all you Dutch, bless your hearts, you're the best. I'm sorry I was a hot mess and added to the problem of being a dumb freaking tourist. So the fact that this Dutch security guard confiscates like 50 joints a day makes me think that this guy has an unlimited free supply of weed for life. Talk about job benefits. Our next Reddit post is from RMFL. So today I sold my Bitcoin I bought 2 years ago. I spent like $100 on the investment or something. I cashed it out at Bitcoin ATM and brought it home. The first thing I did to celebrate was buy some edibles. I buy some edibles, eat a whole brownie, and am out of it. I order some pizza and take some money from my wad and put it in a pile on the table next to me. The total was like 20, so I put 23. Since I'm super high, when the pizza delivery girl knocks, I grab the wad of all the money, not the $23 stack. I give it to her and she starts crying. She keeps saying, "Are you sure? You don't know how much this is going to help me." Freaked out and high, I say, okay, and just rush inside. Right now, after waking up being passed out, I realize what I've done. Gave away my bill money for this month, lol. Hey OP, look on the bright side. From now on, you're gonna have the fastest pizza delivery drivers on planet Earth. Our next Reddit post is from OceanIsMySpace. I had been together with my girlfriend for almost 4 years. I proposed to her about a month ago. She said yes, and we were incredibly happy. Or so I thought. About 3 weeks after our proposal, I noticed she starts acting different. Not passionately hugging with me, looking away and down when we kiss. She had been spending way too much time, at least 4 days of Monday through Friday each week, with her coworkers drinking beer after work, driving home drunk, and often pretty late. I went to a few of these gatherings, but didn't really enjoy getting slammed on a Monday night when I have to work the next day, so I often opted out. We would also share our Google location with each other at all times, mostly because she traveled to sketchy places for work, and I would regularly go on trails, so it helped each of us know the other was safe. I looked at her location one day, and it was turned off. I texted her about it, and she said that she kept receiving notifications about it, so she had turned it off. Hadn't been a problem for the past year. She turned it back on, and it was off again the next day. She also had 2 phones, a personal and a work phone, and she would keep both with her at all times. I only had the location for the personal phone. Eventually, she stopped using her personal phone and only used the work phone. 2 days ago, about a month after the proposal, I decided to snoop because my suspicion was at its highest, and I just wanted to put it to rest. I used her computer to log into her Gmail account and looked at her timeline. She had been going to an address across town about 10 times in the past 2 weeks. I called her immediately because she said she was at the office finishing up some work that was due the next day. She said she was at work, but leaving to go to the grocery store, which she then did. I waited until she got home and confronted her about it. She said she had been meeting a guy from work just to talk and hang out, but she didn't want to tell me because she thought I would get mad. Turns out she met him for the first time about 2 days after the proposal and started seeing him at his house within that week. I kept prying, asking her more questions. She told me that they had only kissed twice. Then it turned into they had made out, and she denied every accusation of sleeping with him every time I asked. The next day, when I got home from work, I asked to see her phone to read the messages between the 2 of them. She said she deleted them. So I said I wanted to look at it anyways, just to be sure. I started recovering the data from the last backup. She sat down beside me while I was doing it and asked what I was doing. I told her, and the look of panic in her face was real. So she starts talking about feelings and all this other garbage while the phone is recovering. I asked her one last time, before I look at this, is there anything you want to tell me? She was silent. I asked flat out, did you sleep with him? And she said yes. Turns out that she had met with him almost every day, starting about 8 days after the proposal, and had passionately hugged with him most of those. Funny enough, the data recovery didn't even work, so that's a win, I guess. Planning on moving my stuff out later this week to a new place. Haven't told her yet. Still, can't believe she started cheating on me less than 2 weeks after she said yes to my proposal. And even more so with someone she met a few days after the proposal. Feels sucky, but I'm keeping my head up. OP, you didn't F up, you saved yourself. You are so lucky that you found this before you got married. I say dump that cheater and never look back. Our next Reddit post is from Landlord Passionate Hugger 43. And for context on this next post, OP is a male. Okay, so this happened over the weekend and today. On Friday, I went to view an apartment. I had talked to the landlord on the phone and was seeing the apartment with a super. So I see the apartment, everything's great. I get an application, fill it all out, and email it to the landlord. I get a call from him a few hours later, just going over the details of my application, and he offers me the appointment. I'm going to go in on Monday and sign the lease. Okay, so now it's Saturday night, and I'm just swiping through Tinder and match with a cute guy, mid-30s. I'm 20. Let's call him Steve. He messaged me, we flirt. He comes over to my place. We have mediocre passionate hugging at best, then he leaves to go home. So Monday rolls around and I go to the apartment building to sign the lease and tie up any loose ends. I walk up the building and Steve is standing outside with a woman and I see he has some papers in his hands. The woman waves to me and introduces herself as Steve's wife. Steve looks totally chill while I'm freaking out inside but trying to remain calm. I did not sign up for this. Anyway, I feel bad for his wife and I feel like a horrible person even though I had no idea that he was married. Can't wait to live there for a whole year. The most disturbing thing about this post is that OP's username is Landlord Passionate Hugger 43. So whatever happened to those other 42 people who passionately hug their landlords? Our next Reddit post is from Vince Polio. To put things into perspective, I, a 20-year-old male, and my girlfriend, a 21-year-old female, had been dating together for 4 and a bit years. Typical high school sweethearts. We wanted to move away and start our own lives after college. We decided to spice things up a bit and open up our relationship a little. It was pretty much a joint decision, but looking back, she was kind of insistent on the whole passionate hugging is fun idea. She's on a night out with some friends when she phones me and asks if the whole open relationship thing is still cool. Explaining she's met a guy, a 24-year-old dude, and asks me to pay for a hotel because she wasn't working at the time. I agreed. I tell her to go for it, and she does. She texts me to say that she had a good night and that all was well. The week after, she mentions she's meeting up with this guy again. Wasn't expecting it, but I'm cool with it. Again, asks for me to pay for her hotel. A decision I would live to regret. She doesn't text me the entire night. Weird, but okay, maybe she's just having a good time. The next day, I receive a load of messages about how she needs a break from everything right now. Meeting this guy has apparently opened her eyes. A little more conversation and we're over. She's completely cut me out of her life. I check her Snapchat story and of course she's with him. I've heard from her friends that they're dating now. Too long, didn't read, agreed to an open relationship, basically paid for my girlfriend to find someone better and dump me. OP, I have 2 questions for you. 1, why did you pay for the hotel room the first time? 2, why did you pay for the hotel room the second time? Our next Reddit post is from Long Hair Gray. So I've been spending a lot of time around dogs. I've recently been hired by friends' families and family friends to walk and watch their dogs. My Reddit is covered in dogs from various sources. My Facebook is solely dog pages and dog-related charities. Basically, everywhere I turn, I see dog. Not a bad life to live. Until yesterday. Yesterday I effed up, I know. I walked one of my mother's friend's dog to a dog-friendly pub and sat in the garden enjoying a drink in the sun. It wasn't very busy, with only a few other people sitting outside around me. It's hot. I've just walked in the sun for maybe 20 minutes, stupidly without water. I want to blame dehydration for this F up, but really, I know I'm just an idiot. A couple of young ladies are sitting a few tables away from me, talking and cooing over a pushchair. My first thought is that in that pushchair is a dog. I don't know. It's a hot day, and I've seen dogs in pushchairs before. Maybe they didn't want its paws on hot tarmac. Maybe they're just a little extra. Regardless, the thought that babies exist didn't enter my tiny, stupid brain. As they got up to leave and walk by me, I decided to be a friendly fellow dog walker and looked up at them, uttered the words, "What breed is it?" and gestured towards the pushchair. They looked very confused and slightly offended and proceeded to hurry away. It was a baby, a human baby. I'm so glad they took the traditional British approach of confused stare and silence. If they had said something, I think I would have disintegrated on the spot. It was a long walk home after that, and thankfully, I didn't pass any more pushchairs. OP, I sympathize. As a puppy owner, I sometimes forget that it's possible to have a conversation without the other person constantly interrupting you with barks and squeaks. And speaking of barks and squeaks, let's get straight into the r/puppy bloopers. So Monday, dog. Arr. Do you mind? I'm trying to record. Go get your squeaky toy. Go over there. And chew it, or whatever. So Monday rolls are. Why do I bother? Dog, please, can you just go take a nap or something? Go to literally anywhere else in the house and be noisy, and it's fine. Dog, please. I'm working my job that pays the bills and buys you food and toys to gobble up and squeak. I'm in a bar. Dog. You want cuddles? I can cuddle with you. Come here. Come here, dog.